Okay, very good morning. Today we'll start with Unit 3. So this Unit 3 is there, Aptitude and Foundational Values for Civil Services, a very interesting unit. Okay, we'll first of all start with Aptitude. Now tell me what aptitude is. You people must have heard this word.
That is inherent ability to learn skills.
Okay. In fact, I remember these lines from a very famous novel, English August. Upamanya Chatterjee, he is an IAS officer also. Okay, in 1988, he wrote a novel by the name English August. The novel is in the life of a young recruit to civil services. Okay, you people must read this novel once you get selected. English August. So the chief protagonist, Agastya Sen, in this novel says that most young men in India do not recognize their aptitude. In search of a career, they just keep on trying and something clicks. I am one of them and I am an IAS officer. And so true this thing is about the youth in India. I mean, they hardly consider one of the most important indicators of the success in their career while choosing one of their careers, and that is aptitude. Tell me, how did you choose your stream after clearing your 10th exam? What was the criteria of choosing your stream? Sciences, commerce, arts? What criteria you adopted?
Herd mentality. Everybody else.
Herd mentality was there, or? Interest. Okay, that's good. India is changing. Huh? During my time, I mean, interest has no value. Okay. I mean, it was a hierarchy was made by the society that the best ones will go to sciences, the mediocre ones to the commerce time, and the worst, who are not good in anything, they will take the arts. And this is completely irrational in nature. Okay. So basically, let's try to understand what this aptitude is. Okay, a very important thing. Right. So first of all, just write down the definition of aptitude and then I will start discussing it. Okay. Aptitude is defined as a natural or inherent capacity to acquire a certain skill or ability in the future through appropriate training. Aptitude can be both through appropriate training. Aptitude can be both mental as well as physical. Okay. So this is the definition. Now let's try to understand it. This word aptitude has come from the word aptos, which basically means fitted for. The job for which you are fit for. Okay, and every human being has certain natural tendencies. Okay, it is something which is inherent, something which is natural to you. It is something which you are born with. It is in your DNA. Okay, we discussed that Guna theory, okay, of Bhagavad Gita. The things that you are born with. For example, language acquisition. Okay, like human beings are born with the ability to learn language. Okay, like I mean, at the age of 3 or 4 years, I mean, such a difficult thing to learn a language. So many rules are there, so many letters are there, and yet the child learns it with great ease. I mean, the moment he is exposed to a language, he starts learning it. How this thing is possible? Only because he has an inherent potential to learn the language. Like many personalities, you will see that many times they said कि natural talent था. Okay, like many of us believe that we have a natural talent to become a good civil servant. Okay, like for example, Milkha Singh. You guys know Milkha Singh? Okay, he was a natural runner, natural athlete. Okay, have you heard about Budhya Singh? Who's Budhya Singh? Child from Odisha. Okay, I think at the age of at the age of 5 or 6, he ran for more than 60 kilometers. Okay, I mean that is quite impossible for a normal child. Why it was made possible by him? Because he had a natural talent to run. Are you getting my point? So it is something which is natural. In many books you will. So aptitude we were discussing, it is something which is natural to you. Okay. Now in this definition it is written that natural or inherent capacity to acquire a certain skill or ability in future. Okay. In order to understand this definition, you must understand the difference between skill, abilities and aptitude. Okay, what are skills? What are skills?
Ability to complete a specific task, ability towards doing something.
Skills are those things which you have learned in the past. They have backward description. Okay, like writing skills. You people have learned writing during your school times. You developed that ability and now you are a skillful writer. Abilities are those things that you can do in present. Okay, like for example, you have just come out from driving school. You have just learned how to drive a car. Can I say that you are a skillful driver? No. I would say that you have the ability to drive the car, but with practice you will become a skillful driver. And aptitude is something that you can learn in future. Okay, let me give you an UPSC specific example. UPSC क्या करता है? What UPSC do? It tests, it recognizes, it certifies your aptitude. Okay, it says that yes, this person has the aptitude for becoming a good civil servant, so a certificate has been given to you and then it is sent to personnel department. Then you go to Labasna. Okay, in Labasna what you get? You get training. And through this training, aptitude is converted into ability. Okay, and after Labasna, you are sent to a district. A sandwich course is there. After 7 or 8 months of training, then you will be sent to a district as a probationary officer. Okay, there you will get practice. And through this practice, your ability will get converted into a skill. Okay, then you will go back again to Labasna and a final test will be there to see that whether you have become a skillful civil servant or not. Okay, so I hope you are understanding the difference between aptitude, ability and skill. right? And then finally in future through appropriate training. Training is very much necessary. Without training, I mean, it won't be possible. Why India is not winning too many medals in Olympics? Because training facilities are not provided to most of the people in India. Most of the children, I mean, especially suppose you have a great verbal aptitude, okay, but you are born in, let's say, some tribal area of Jharkhand. Will it be possible for you to convert your aptitude into skill? I mean, the probability is very less, right? So, in future, through appropriate training. And aptitude can be both mental as well as physical. Mental aptitude, can you give me certain examples of mental aptitude? Verbal aptitude is there, like अपने school में देखो, आपके school में you would have noticed this thing that some of your classmates, they were really good in mathematics, some others were good in arts, okay, some natural grouping was there. क्यों था वो natural grouping? Aptitude की वजह से, okay, like many players they have physical aptitude, okay, वो Usain Bolt, he had a physical aptitude to run. क्या physical aptitude था? Yes, yes. I mean, he has very long legs. Okay. Michael Phelps, क्या था? क्या physical aptitude था? जो wings थे, I mean wingspan, it was much larger than a normal one. मुरलीधरन का क्या था physical aptitude? वो tweaked arm थी उसकी, I mean some 15-degree angle was there which helped him to spin the ball. Okay, so all these things will come under physical aptitude. देखो ये examples हैं. It's all about example. Anybody can explain what physical aptitude is, but your answer will get differentiated from your examples only. Okay, so through appropriate training, it can be both mental as well as physical, right? I hope you have understood it. Now, what is the significance of aptitude? Significance क्या है? Aptitude will help you in what?
It's the starting point. After that, whether it can be.
If you do things as per your aptitude, what advantages you will get? The first thing is that you will get a head start. Okay, others have to cover, let's say 100 meters, then you only have to cover around 80 meters. You will get a head start from others. So this is the first thing. ये लिख लो significance है. First is you will get a head start. Okay. Secondly, fast learning. Fast learning, good learning in less time. The time taken by you, it will be less, and the effort made by you will also be very less. You will learn things in very less effort. होगा कि नहीं होगा? अब बुद्धिया सिंह को, मिल्खा सिंह को, I mean, yes, they made many efforts, but comparatively it was lower than the one who have no aptitude for running. Okay, anything else? Any other? Higher motivation is going to be there. Motivation level will be higher. Okay, the probability of success will be higher. Okay, sense, you can say, just for the sake of writing a point, you can say sense of achievement and satisfaction. Your satisfaction level will be much higher.
What about, it's a kind of division of labor also?
Division of?
Labor, I mean, you're doing something to which you are suited to, or supposed to. So it's a social...
Okay, Gandhian idea. Okay, Gandhiji used this idea to justify Varna system. Okay, like it leads to specialization, division of labor. Okay, yes. Okay, yes, you can write that thing, but explain it. Okay. So this is the significance of aptitude, right? Now let me relate some of the other concepts with aptitude. What's the relation between aptitude and intelligence? Sorry?
There is something from kind of skills that you already possess. And aptitude is something future related that you will do.
Aptitude also you possess. Skill is something that you learn in future. Okay. See, intelligence is generic in nature. Okay, basically, in fact, if you want to write a definition of intelligence, you can say that intelligence is the capacity. Just write one line, it will help you. Intelligence is the capacity of an individual Intelligence is the capacity of an individual to think rationally, to act purposefully, and to deal effectively with his environment. And to deal effectively with his environment. And to deal effectively with his environment. Okay, see, intelligence is generic in nature. Okay, it can be in any field, general intelligence, whereas aptitude is specific to one area. Are you getting my point? So the first difference is this only. Aptitude in one area, intelligence is generic in nature.
To what extent is aptitude significant for a person to do certain things?
Sorry?
The common dilemma
Hmm.
that leaders are made or leaders are born.
Hmm.
So, to what extent is aptitude relevant?
Yes,
determining the-
certainly, actually I would do this thing in leaders, but yes, certainly, certain aptitude is required to become a good leader. I will come to that part, don't worry. Okay. The first is, क्या discuss किया था? Generic and specific. Second thing is that intelligence is both innate and learned. Both nature and nurture both have a role to play in case of intelligence. Okay, in case of aptitude it is only innate in nature. Okay, then aptitude is both physical and mental, whereas intelligence is only mental in nature. Okay, in fact, if you want to use both the words in one sentence, you can say that aptitude is innate intelligence. Aptitude is innate intelligence or physical capacity. Aptitude is innate intelligence or physical capacity in a particular area. Okay, so aptitude and intelligence. If this 5 marker comes, what's the difference between aptitude and intelligence? Okay, second concept is aptitude and attitude. Aptitude and attitude. The saying is there that aptitude plus attitude will decide your altitude. Okay, the height of success that you will get, it is dependent on the sum of aptitude and attitude. Aptitude is what you will do. Okay, and attitude is how you are going to do it. Your approach towards that particular thing. Okay. Like in India, I mean, many young people, I mean, they have great aptitude towards politics. Okay, aptitude है great, but their attitude towards politics is negative, and that is why they are not going towards it. Are you getting? एक बहुत अच्छा example है सचिन तेंदुलकर. You know विनोद कामली भी एक player था. Okay, both of them started together. In fact, they were very good friends. In fact, at that time it was said that Vinod Kamli had he had more skills, he had more aptitude than Sachin Tendulkar, and yet he almost failed. Why? Because attitude was not there. Good positive attitude was not there towards cricket. Are you getting my point? So attitude बहुत जरूरी है. What's the difference between attitude and arrogance? Just a form of, or you can say extreme attitude. Attitude is I can do it, and arrogance is only I can do it. Okay. If a question comes that which thing is more important, aptitude or attitude? Attitude. Attitude is more important. Why? एक तो ये है कि if attitude is not there, then aptitude will always remain dormant. Okay, if you doesn't have the positive attitude also towards that thing. Secondly, through attitude, through good strong attitude, you can learn even those things in which you doesn't have aptitude. वो leaders born or made वाला debate आ गया. Okay, that suppose you doesn't have a good aptitude for, let's say, to become a leader, but because you have a very strong attitude towards life, and through lot of practice, through lot of training, finally you became a good leader. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you cannot learn those things in which you doesn't have aptitude. You can learn them, but for that some extra effort and some extra positive attitude will be required. Are you getting my point? Modi ji के पास aptitude है for leadership. Okay, his attitude is also good. That is why success is there. Rahul Gandhi, no aptitude, no attitude. तो ये प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है. I mean, he doesn't want to be a politician. वो जबरदस्ती डाल दिया गया. Okay, so no aptitude, no attitude, and that is why the success rate is so poor. Are you getting my point? So aptitude, attitude, this question can come. A separate 10 marker can also be there. Right? If I ask you to write the differences, क्या क्या लिखेंगे? Aptitude is both mental, physical. Attitude is only mental in nature. Aptitude is innate. Attitude is learned capacity. Okay, it is something which is learned. Aptitude decide what you will do. Attitude decide how you are going to do it. Examples दे दिए मैंने. लीडरशिप के एग्जाम्पल्स हैं, तेंदुलकर स्पोर्ट्स की फील्ड से एग्जाम्पल्स हैं. Right. Now another term is interest. The third idea. Aptitude, intelligence, aptitude, attitude, and now aptitude and interest. If I ask you to define what is an interest, natural inclination. नहीं, natural नहीं होता, induced भी हो सकता है. If I expose you to something, okay, on regular basis, you will develop an interest in it. आपने कभी देखा है कि suppose there is a song, you listen it again and again. In the starting, you may not like it, but then you'll start liking it.
Can be positive or negative, but interest is only positive.
हाँ, yes, you can say this thing. इसको mere exposure effect बोलते हैं. Okay, in psychology we call it mere exposure effect. When you are exposed to a particular thing on regular basis, you start liking it. Okay, so interest is basically those things which you like regardless of your capability. Okay, basically it's a feeling or an emotion. ये लिख लो चलो एक line. Interest reflects the things. Interest reflects the things that you like to do. That you like to do, regardless of your skill. Regardless of your skill. It is a feeling or emotion. It is a feeling or emotion that causes a person's attention, that causes a person's attention to focus on an object, event, a person or process. A person or process. Okay, just one more line. Interests are the result. Interests are the result of what you do, comma, what you learn, and whom you know. Okay, so it is not something which is inherent. It can be inherent, it can be learned also. The kind of exposure you have. Okay, अब आपने कभी क्रिकेट देखा ही नहीं लाइफ में. Okay, so how you will develop interest in cricket? Right? अब फुटबॉल ही देखते हैं काफी लोग in many countries. It is the only sport which can be truly regarded as a world sport. Okay, तो लोग देखते हैं उसी में इंटरेस्ट है. They don't even know what cricket is. Right? So aptitude and interest. Now these concepts are clear. Now the next thing is aptitude realization. What do you mean by realization? Skill, you can say. Okay, converting your aptitude into a skill. Okay, what are the things which are required for this? The first thing is correct identification. Okay. Second thing is your resolve to pursue your aptitude. And third is socio-cultural and economic environment. This AC is on, right? See, many people, you know, that they remain trapped in wrong professions. Like the Manu Chatterjee, the quote. I mean, he's basically a novelist. He's a writer, and he got trapped into being an IAS officer. Okay. So many people, in fact, they even earn money from it, but they are never satisfied. Okay. So correct identification of aptitude is very much important. Usually in India what happens that its identification is not done. Okay, why? Because formal testing, I mean all these things are not there, and some societal pressure is also there that you have to do something in a particular field only. So correct identification. Second is your resolve to pursue your aptitude. Resolve is very important, motivation is very important. Okay, like for example, suppose you have a really good artistic mind and you want to become a good painter. Okay, you have an aptitude for painting, but you are born in a middle class family. Okay, now in a middle class family, if a child goes to father and say that father I want to become a painter, तो क्या reaction आएगा? What kind of reaction he will get? पढ़ाई करो, SSC पास करो भैया. Okay, you are made for SSC, become a peon, कुछ भी करो, get a government job, that is all. This is your life. Okay, because as a profession, it has a very long gestation period, and it is not considered good, especially in a middle class family in India. Okay, but yet we have examples like M.F. Hussain. Okay, I mean he came from a very poor family in Maharashtra. In fact, he started his career by painting posters for Bollywood. Okay, and later on, I mean just because he had great resolve, he became a great painter. He had everything at the end of his life. सब कुछ था. Okay, so resolve is very important, right? And the third condition is socio-cultural and economic environment. This environment, this society is also very important. Okay, it will provide you opportunities. It will help you to provide the training which is required to convert aptitude into skill. Are you getting my point? So socio-cultural and economic environment, that thing is also very important. Okay, see this first is, I mean it is necessary. But out of these two, even one is there in higher quantity, then also things will happen. Are you getting my point? Like I gave you the example of M.F. Hussain. This thing was in high amount even when this thing was negative. Okay, and yet he was able to do this thing. In many places resolve is not there. Like again Rahul Gandhi. Okay, socio-cultural and economic, he has everything within. Bana banaya, I mean seat hai for the Prime Minister. And yet he is not able to achieve this thing because he doesn't have much resolve for that. Okay, like Kapoor family hai Bollywood ke andar. Okay, even if you doesn't have any resolve to become an actor, yet you will end up doing at least 5 to 6 movies. कहीं पे बच्चे का रोल दे देंगे, कहीं पे कोई रोल दे देंगे, but you will do some movies. Okay, because this socio-cultural and economic environment is very, very strong. Okay, तुषार कपूर जैसे एक वो था, I mean कोई aptitude नहीं है, resolve का पता नहीं है, but just because socio-cultural and economic strong backup है, he became an actor. Okay, so these three things are usually required. Got it? Aptitude realization, how your aptitude is converted into a skill. A very important, a separate 10 marker can come on it.
Whose responsibility is it to identify the aptitude of a child?
हाँ, ये next है. Next सब topic लिखो, aptitude identification. Aptitude identification. Okay, see aptitude identification again, how it is done? Two methods are there, formal and informal methods. Informal methods and formal methods. What do you mean by informal methods? Family, suppose your mark, based on your mark sheet, your aptitude will be identified, your interest areas. Okay, let's say suppose you are doing good in sports. Okay, then the parents or your teachers will identify as this child is particularly good in a particular sports. So let's help him to excel in this particular field only. MS धोनी वाला मूवी देखा है ना, तो उसका वो टीचर आइडेंटिफाई करता है that he has an aptitude for stopping the balls. Okay, earlier he was a goalkeeper, then he became a wicket keeper. Okay, even Sachin Tendulkar, he wanted to become a fast bowler in the starting of his career, but he soon realized that he doesn't have the aptitude for becoming a fast bowler. क्या चाहिए फास्ट बॉलर के लिए? हाइट चाहिए. ओके, उसका वो जो लीन स्ट्रक्चर होना चाहिए बॉडी का, उसका ब्रॉड स्ट्रक्चर है, सो फिजिकल एप्टीट्यूड नहीं था, राइट? So he correctly identified his aptitude. In fact, because of his height only, he was very successful. Gavaskar, why he was successful in 70s and 80s? West Indies team के आगे वो bowlers से, why he was successful? Because of his height. Because those bowlers were not able to adjust to his height. Okay. So informal ways. In India, the problem is that aptitude is identified in informal manner only. There are no formal tests for identifying aptitude. You can write it as a critique also of our education system. Critique है हमारे education system का. That is why success is not there. Okay. In fact, अभी नीति आयोग ने एक प्लान था कि 50 Olympic medals till 2024. Okay. The major component is the correct identification of aptitude only. कैश देम यंग वाला पॉलिसी यूज करेंगे, तो वो एग्जाम्पल भी दे सकते हैं हम लोग, राइट? एंड देन वी हैव फॉर्मल मेथड्स. फॉर्मल मेथड्स में क्या आ जाएगा? ओके, स्टार्टअप्स आर देयर. ओके, यू कैन गिव दोज एग्जाम्पल्स. यस, सर्टेनली. करियर आइडेंटिफिकेशन, यस यस, सर्टेनली. ओके, सो फॉर्मल टेस्टिंग इज देयर. ये जो क्लैट कैट ये सब क्या है, कॉमन एडमिशन सब ये एप्टीट्यूड टेस्ट है. ओके, बेसिकली इट इज टेस्टेड बाय एन एप्टीट्यूड बैटरी. ओके, व्हाट इज एप्टीट्यूड बैटरी? In an aptitude battery, let's say around 100 questions are going to be there. These 100 questions will be divided into 10 areas. Okay, and 10 aptitude basically. And every aptitude test will contain 10 questions. Are you getting my point? CSAT क्या है? Civil Services aptitude test. Syllabus क्या है उसका? अरे अभी तो इतना तो पता होना चाहिए. वर्बल एप्टीट्यूड, रीजनिंग, डेटा इंटरप्रिटेशन, न्यूमेरिकल एप्टीट्यूड. सो ये सब क्या है? दीज आर डिफरेंट सब फील्ड्स, एंड यू विल फाइंड दैट एवरी एरिया हैज अराउंड 8 to 10 क्वेश्चंस इन द एग्जाम. सो बेसिकली व्हाट इट इज एन एप्टीट्यूड बैटरी, एंड दिस इज हाउ योर एप्टीट्यूड इज recognized. Are you getting my point? Along with aptitude test, one more thing is there, achievement test. What are achievement test? सुना है कभी achievement test? No, ये फ्लूक था complete. हाँ हाँ, ये सब जितने भी all the exams that you guys have given at school and college level, they are all सब achievement test ही हैं. Basically it tries to recognize the things that you have achieved in the past. First of all, formal instructions will be given to you, and then on the base of instructions a test will be there. इसको कहते हैं syllabus वाला test. Okay, so achievement test, school, college सब जगह ये achievement test था. Like आपका जो first GS का पेपर है in prelims, it is an achievement test. Are you getting my point? Okay, so achievement test, things that you have learned in the past, and aptitude test, things that you are going to learn in future, how much potential you have to learn them. Okay, and what should be the ideal condition? Mix होना चाहिए दोनों का. Okay, see, you people should understand that why this paper was introduced. Why CSAT was introduced at prelims level. Earlier there was a bias in favor of achievement test. Everything was achievement oriented. Okay, so what they did in the prelims, that one optional was removed and CSAT was introduced, and at the mains level also one optional was removed and this paper was introduced, ethics paper. Ethics paper is an aptitude test, it's not an achievement test. Please do realize the nature of this paper. Okay, see, what is happiness? I mean, this question cannot have a formal answer, or you cannot be trained for such kind of questions. Okay, so basically it is trying to judge your aptitude of from how many perspectives you can look into a particular thing. Okay, so a mix is very much important, right? So aptitude identification, both formal and informal ways are there. In India, more informal methods are used rather than formal ones. Achievement test का एक definition लिख लो. Achievement test measure the extent. Achievement test measure the extent to which a person has achieved something, comma, acquired certain information, or mastered certain skills, usually as a result of planned instructions or training. Usually as a result of planned instructions or training. Okay, one last paragraph. Achievement tests are combined with aptitude test. Achievement tests are combined with aptitude test in order to understand the present as well as future qualities of a candidate. Future qualities of a candidate. Under such combination, comma, a balance has to be there. Between aptitude and achievement. Okay, in fact it is also a critique to UPSC exams. Okay, if this question can also be asked in interview also, that what changes are required in civil services examination. So you can write this thing, that aptitude oriented test should be there. Okay, and in fact it is becoming aptitude oriented, as I told you earlier. In 90s, देखो 90s में क्या question पूछते थे? What is constitution? What is this? What उसमें non-cooperation movement में क्या? Simple, direct, factual questions. In the first decade, things started changing. Critically analyze, elucidate, such kind of things started coming. And now, in the last 7 or 8 years, more futuristic orientation. What could be done in this regard? Okay, what have been the problems with government and what you think can be done to avoid such situations. Are you getting my point? So more futuristic oriented questions are now asked by UPSC. Okay, which also suggests that how the nature of this exam is changing. Got it? So this is about aptitude. Any question about aptitude? I think इससे ज़्यादा तो ज़रूरत नहीं बनेगी. Yes, they can, but in indirect manner. Okay, like emotional intelligence. Many people have an aptitude for being emotionally stable or being a leader. Okay, all these things are required for being ethical also. Okay, like adherence to. This is our next subtopic also, aptitude for civil services. देखो examples please जरूर लिखिएगा. Whenever you are writing all these things, please do write examples. और अपने खुद बनाओ examples. That would be much better. Aptitude for civil services, physical aptitude, mental aptitude. Okay, like for being an IPS officer, certain height is required. Okay, physical, mental. Mental can be further divided into general mental capacity and capacity to adhere to the foundational values of civil services. And these values can be both end values as well as means values. Now basically, what's the source of end values in India? Constitution. Constitution is basically the source of end oriented values. Okay, and source of means values? Code of conduct. Laws, code of conduct or code of ethics, you can say. Okay, so here you can write one quote from second ARC report. The second ARC in its 10th report it's refurbishing of personnel administration, comma, scaling new heights. In fact, most of the questions have been asked from this 10th report only. Okay, the second ARC in its 10th report is of the view that in addition to commitment to the Constitution, values for civil services should include first, objectivity, second, empathy, for the weaker sections of society, tolerance, commitment, impartiality and non-partisanship, and finally probity and integrity. Okay, in fact these are the values which are also mentioned in your syllabus. So your syllabus has been derived from this 10th report of second ARC only. Okay, now we'll jump to the second part of this unit, that is foundational values for civil services. And the first value that we are going to discuss is objectivity. Tell me one thing, I mean, have you guys ever thought that why we should abide by the rules and regulations which are made by bureaucracy? I mean, on what basis bureaucracy claims authority over us? Why we should follow the orders of bureaucracy?
Being a civil servant.
Being a citizen. Because हाँ सही है बिल्कुल, because they are legal, you can say. Anything else?
That's the protocol of the administration.
Protocol, just because protocol.
They are permanent executive.
Permanent executive to different, अच्छा हाँ permanent, sorry, सही, political and permanent. Just because they are permanent executive you will follow them.
Because they will be running country.
They are executing the laws passed by parliament.
हाँ laws का है, एक तो laws है. मैक्स वेबर ने क्या दिया था? You know who's मैक्स वेबर?
Rational legal.
Legal rational bureaucracy. Okay, because bureaucracy is legal and rational, that is why we follow it. That are the basis of the authority exercised by bureaucracy. And what do we mean by legal? Legal का क्या meaning होता है? That authority is exercised on the basis of certain rules and regulations which are equal to all and which are open to all, which have been disclosed to all the people. Imagine if a constitution is a secret document, will you follow it? No. See, IPC, CRPC, agar if you don't know what's there in it, it's not open to you, you will never follow it.
So it's the problem with the earlier times, people couldn't understand the scriptures.
Yes, certainly, yes. Okay, why Britishers, I mean, translation क्यों किया था? Understanding के लिए, disclosure के लिए, right? So legal, and what do you mean by rational?
Follow certain reasons.
Reason based. Idea is
Logically coherent.
logically coherent or cause-effect relationship is established. Basically, that means are specifically designed to achieve certain ends. जैसे बीफ बैन है, हम उसको irrational बोलते हैं. We call it irrational. In fact, many people in the society are not, are not eager to follow this rule. Why? Legal तो है, it's by law. Okay, but it is not rational in nature. People are not able to understand the logic behind it. Are you getting my point? So legal and rational. And why I am discussing this thing? Because bureaucracy cannot be legal and rational without being objective. Objectivity is necessary for being legal and rational. Okay, so the basis of bureaucracy, the basis of authority which bureaucracy claims comes from its objective nature only. Objectivity इसलिए इतना important है. Okay, now just write down I was just giving you the introduction part of objectivity till now. Okay, कि why it is important. दो connect करो. Most of you have heard about legal rational bureaucracy by Max Weber. Okay, so now लिखो 3-4 लाइनें लिखो. That's very important point. Bureaucracy's claim to legitimacy. Bureaucracy's claim to legitimacy is based on its legal structure and rational behavior. Rational behavior. It is rational. It is rational because means are expressly designed to achieve certain means are expressly or specifically designed to achieve certain ends. It is legal because authority is exercised by a system of rules and procedures which are same for everyone. For a civil servant to be rational and legal, comma, it is important that he should be objective in behavior. Okay, so this is the introduction to objectivity. Now write down the definition and then I'll explain it. Objectivity refers to the ability to judge fairly. Objectivity refers to the ability to judge fairly without bias. Without bias or external influence. It is the quality of being true even outside of a subject's individual biases, comma, interpretations and feelings. Okay, now in this definition you will find three things: judge fairly, without bias and without external influence. Okay, and in order to understand these 3 points, let's take an example. Suppose an article is in newspaper about the economic policies of the government. Now some of the features I am discussing. Now this article has heavily criticized the economic policies. Corruption charges have been leveled against all the ministers. The article has been written by the member of the opposition party. Okay, and his name has not been disclosed after the end of article. His name is not disclosed. Okay, the viewpoint, the defense of the ministers has not been taken into regard. The corruption charges against the opposition party members have been completely ignored. And finally, elections are due next year. Okay, this much information has been provided to you. On this basis, if question is there that comment on the level of objectivity of this article, what will be your answer? Is it objective? No. Why? First of all, things has not been disclosed. His name has not been disclosed. Okay, see एक example याद आता है मुझे. Like few years back there was an article in Hindu about this Jaipur Literature Festival. And in the end it was specifically written that Hindu is the co-sponsor of Jaipur Literature Festival. Why this thing was there? Okay, so that a wrong perception has not been created in the mind of the reader. Otherwise wrong perception होगा ना that Hindu is reporting this thing. एक जैसे वो page 3 आता है आपका Times of India और Hindustan Times में. क्या होता है वो पार्टीज वगैरह जो होती है, प्राइवेट पार्टीज वगैरह, वहां तुमने छोटा सा लिखा होगा पेड एडवर्टीजमेंट्स. दीज आर ऑल पेड एडवर्टीजमेंट्स, बट बहुत छोटा सा लिखा होता है that the newspaper has not specifically covered them, but the people have paid for these newses. Okay, so disclosure is very important to create right perception in the mind of readers. Now certainly some external influence is also there on the writer because elections are due next year. Okay, he is biased also because all the views have not been taken into regard. Bias का क्या meaning होता है? Favor, partisan, yes. Inclination, yes. Inclination, basically prejudices, yes, you can say prejudices also. Basically preference to someone or inclination towards someone at the cost of others, you can say. Okay, biases. Preference or inclination towards someone at the cost of others. And then fair judgment is also not there. Okay, the viewpoints of ministers have not been taken into regard. All the parties have not been considered properly. So fairness is also not there. So no fairness, external influence is there, and bias is there. So we can say that it is not objective in nature. Objectivity basically means that the thing is completely independent of the mind of the writer. No emotions are there, no stereotypes, no prejudice, no personal interpretations will be taken into regard. Lady Justice blindfolded होता है ना? What this blindfold depicts? Objectivity. Blindfold जो होता है Lady Justice का, it depicts objectivity only. That no, my personal opinions, my biases, my prejudices, nothing, the status of the party, even of the party, nothing will be taken into regard while making justice. Okay, in bureaucracy you often find that committees are established. For everything a commission is established. Why?
So that multiple views are taken.
Multiple views से क्या आएगा?
Subjectivity दूर होगी, objectivity.
बस वही है, ऑब्जेक्टिविटी आएगा. Are you getting my point? So committee system is based on this idea only that objectivity will creep in. Okay. So that is why objectivity is very, very important. I hope you have understood what objectivity is. Okay. So just two more lines about objectivity and then I will start criticizing objectivity. Criticism भी बहुत important है. Okay. An objective public servant is expected to provide information and advice to all the concerned parties or to all the concerned people on the basis of evidence, and accurately present the options and facts. He takes the decisions on the merits of the case, and take due account of expert and professional advice. Merits of the case and take due account of expert and professional advice. Now write a subtopic, objectivity in complex situations. Is it always possible for a civil servant to be objective? Objectivity in complex situations. Okay. So till now we have discussed that objectivity is the basis behind the legitimacy of bureaucracy. It helps in defending themselves in front of others. It helps in making decisions also. But is it possible for a bureaucrat to remain objective in all situations? हो सकता है? No. See, it is not even possible and it is not even desirable also. Okay, our constitution, is it an objective document? Objective document. Certain biases have been shown in the constitution also. Why right to property was removed? It was an objective article only. Okay, people should have their own property which they have earned. Okay, certain biases, certain preferences have been shown towards particular sections of society. Okay, so when the guiding document is not objective, how you can expect a civil servant to be objective? Okay, secondly, this is the first point that you can write for the criticism of objectivity, that constitution in itself is not objective in nature. Secondly, you can say that objectivity is a clerical expectation. Clerical expectation का क्या meaning हुआ? Clerk word से आया है clerical. You can expect objectivity only from the clerks, but you cannot expect it from the leaders, from the decision makers. Somewhere they have to take the sides. They have to take their emotions into regard. कहीं ना कहीं तो emotions को लेना ही पड़ेगा. You are not a machine. Somewhere your biases, your interpretations will come into your decision making. Okay. अब हम PM को तो completely objective नहीं कह सकते. Populist measures are taken. Okay.
Is this related to the debate also having a committed bureaucracy or having a...
I will come to that part also. Don't worry. But वो impartiality, non-partisanship में आएगा. Civil service neutrality versus committed bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy is objective.
Yes. Bureaucracy suggested by Weber was completely objective.
Judgment is taken on the basis of emotional certainty, so it will lead to retribution kind of situation.
अभी आऊंगा उसके ऊपर. Fairness का concept आता है वहाँ पे. See, emotions have to be taken into regard somewhere. Okay. अब यूथनेशिया वगैरह है, ये सब थोड़ा इमोशनल कंटेंट ही लेकर आता है. ओके, क्लरिकल एक्सपेक्टेशन है. ओके, सॉरी, pedantic,
highly bureaucratic in nature, clerical in nature.
Clerical in nature, yes. I mean, this is what bureaucracy has become, but this is what should not be. Okay. In fact, many social sciences, they have completely discarded this idea of objectivity. Okay, social sciences says that if a person is smart, he is intelligent and sensitive, then he cannot be objective. Are you getting my point? It is quite, it is quite natural for a human being's behavior. Sorry? Weakness, or you can also say strength of human beings. Huh? It depends upon your emotional intelligence. Okay, that if your EI level is high, then it is your strength, but if it is low, it is your weakness. Okay, so social sciences have discarded it. In fact, many times objectivity, it contradicts with your other values also. Patriotism, क्या है? What is patriotism? Is it good or bad? It is good. You should be patriotic. But the problem with patriotism is that it makes you the enemy of rest of the mankind. If you think objectively that all the human beings are equal, then okay. But being patriotism means that you love your own members more than the members of other nationalities. वो अलग हो जाएगा, बहुत एक्सटर्नल वो आ जाएगा, वो हमने डिस्कस किया था फर्स्ट क्लास में, जिंगोइज्म, नेशनलिज्म, नाजिज्म, ऑल दोस थिंग्स हैव बीन डिस्कस्ड. ओके, सो दिस थिंग इज देयर, इट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स विद आवर other values. Are you getting my point? So objectivity is not always possible for a civil servant.
Conflicts with empathy.
हाँ, वो empathy वगैरह आएगा, empathy, compassion, the next values that we are going to discuss. Empathy, compassion, everything is required. In fact, in many case studies, this debate will come. Like last year, there was a case study that you are a civil servant, an old lady has come to you. Okay, and I mean, you are implementing one government scheme, the lady wants to get enrolled in that scheme, but she doesn't have the required documents. Okay, so what you will do? Here the question is between objectivity and empathy and compassion. This is a dilemma that the civil servant will face. You getting my point? So, objectivity. See, objectivity is obsessed with exactness. Okay, I mean it's highly aversive to different possibilities, and as we have discussed right in the first class, that ethics is all about possibilities only. There is no objectivity in ethics. Okay, so this is the problem with objectivity. Okay, 2-3 points I have discussed with you. Okay, what should be done ये भी discuss करेंगे अभी हम लोग. Okay, एक लाइन लिख लो बस. As per the critiques, comma, objectivity is inhuman. Objectivity is inhuman and often faked by morons or pretenders. It is inhuman and often faked by morons or pretenders. People pretend to be objective, but actually they are not.
So what is a moron?
Stupid person. Okay, थोड़ा नेगेटिव कॉनोटेशन में यूज होता है, अगर नहीं चाहो तो मत भी यूज करो. Okay, intelligent people will always have views. Intelligent people will always have views and will be biased comma, though informed and fair with different perspectives. Okay.
Is objectivity and balance the same thing?
Objectivity and
Balance.
different word. Okay.
Can you say objectivity is absolutist in
Yes, certainly yes. Okay. Now what can be done? अभी तक we have discussed, we have appreciated objectivity as a very important civil services values, and we have also criticized it. So what should be done actually? क्या करना चाहिए बताइए?
Mixture of both, like if the situation demands, then there should be leeway to.
हाँ, fairness. Because this word is very important. The bureaucrat should always try for objectivity. Okay, he should always try to be objective. But in unequal circumstances, more than objectivity, he should strive for fairness. He should always remember that both objectivity and fairness try to achieve equality. Objectivity is a mean value. Are you getting my point? To achieve equality. But the problem with bureaucracy is that it has made objectivity as an end value. Objectivity कभी end नहीं होता है. It is always a mean. नहीं समझ आया? For example, a judge is there. Now a case has two cases actually have come up. individuals are there, both of them have committed the same crime. Okay, and for that crime, same fine should be levied on both of them. But one of them is very rich and the other is very poor. What should the judge should do? Objectivity क्या कहेगी? Same fine though, blindfolded है. The basic economic status of the person cannot be taken into regard. But will it lead to justice? Injustice होगा कि नहीं होगा? तो यहाँ पे क्या चाहिए? Fairness चाहिए. That is why in CRPC, in IPC, it is always written punishment up to 7 years. The exact punishment is never mentioned. Fine up to 100, let's say 1,000 rupees, or punishment up to 7 years. That space, that band is given for the subjectivity, the fairness part. Yes, certainly. Equal treatment in equal circumstances and unequal treatment in unequal circumstances. ऑब्जेक्टिविटी कोई बैलेंस कर रहा है. बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सब इसी के ऊपर है. इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस थिंग ना, सो यू विल अंडरस्टैंड ऑल अदर कॉन्सेप्ट्स आल्सो. इनफैक्ट ऑल ऑफ देम आर हाईली इंटररिलेटेड. ओके, सपोज एक केस स्टडी देते हैं. चलो, suppose you are a district collector. Okay, let's say in one of the districts. Okay, and you have been asked to implement one of the schemes of government. In this schemes, cheap house loans will be provided to the disadvantaged section of the society. Now you toured all the areas and you collected all the data regarding the beneficiaries. Okay, but in the end one problem is there, that the funds are not sufficient to cover all the beneficiaries in the first phase itself. Okay, what will you do? क्या करोगे? You will make a priority list, and when you will make this list, certain kind of subjectivity will come. Those who will be put under, let's say, the third or fourth phase, they will say that justice has not been done to us. कहेंगे ना वो? कहीं ना कहीं तो subjectivity आएगा, right? But you have to counter that subjectivity through consultations, through transparency, through disclosures. Are you getting my point? So some subjectivity will always come, but that has to be countered by fairness. आ रही है बात समझ में? Fairness is very important. Equal circumstances, if objectivity is used, then it's okay. But in unequal circumstances, if objectivity is there, it will lead to problems, it will lead to injustice. Okay, तो ये खेल है objectivity का सारा. Got it? एक लाइन लिख लो, 2-3. A civil servant should strive for objectivity. A civil servant should strive for objectivity even if he can't achieve it. Even if he can't achieve it. He must be at least fair. He must be at least fair, if not objective. He must be at least fair, if not objective. He must always remember, that objectivity is an instrumental value, rather than an end in itself. Both objectivity and fairness have the same goal to achieve equality. Have the same goal to achieve equality. But in unequal circumstances, fairness will always prevail. Fairness will always prevail over objectivity. Okay, one more term is used, enlightened objectivity. See, fairness is basically the criteria of doing justice. अभी आऊंगा उसके ऊपर, डोंट वरी, बहुत बड़ी चीज है, धीरे धीरे आएंगे उसके ऊपर. ओके, फेयरनेस, जस्टिस सब डिस्कस करेंगे, थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा बस. ओके, ये समझ आ गया. बेसिक यू कैन कनेक्ट इट विद द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑल्सो, एज शी सेड आर्टिकल 14, 15 सब इसी से रिलेटेड है. ओके, so this thing is done. Now I'll move to the next value, that is empathy and compassion towards weaker sections of society. हाँ, भी यही है आपके लाइक वुमेन ओरिएंटेड कुछ, सॉरी गांधीयन, हाँ गांधीयन वैल्यूज हैं वो DPSPs में, बट दे आर नॉट इन्फोर्सेबल ना. सो वो तो जस्ट एक, सॉरी, हाँ एक्सेप्शंस है फंडामेंटल राइट्स में, सर्टनली यस. ओके, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल ऑल दी, जैसे आपका फॉर द नेशनल सिक्योरिटी और जो फॉरेन रिलेशंस, पब्लिक ऑर्डर, ये सब क्या है, ऑल दीज थिंग्स प्रोवाइड डिस्क्रिशन टू पब्लिक सर्वेंट्स. ओके, हाँ, fairness is what we can say enlightened. Judiciary often use enlightened objectivity. Okay. जैसे अभी I think 2 years back one order was passed by SC, it says that poverty can be the grounds for commuting the death sentence of a person. Poverty को ground लिया जा सकता है. Okay, it's a highly subjective thing. Okay. Next is empathy and compassion. In order to understand empathy and compassion towards weaker sections, we must understand the difference between these 4 words: apathy, sympathy, empathy and compassion. Okay, and in order to understand these 4 terms, let's take an example. Suppose a young Dalit man has recently migrated to city for better job opportunities. Okay, but he is very poor, and one problem is there that he doesn't have any identity card with him. Okay, no identity card, and you know how people behave with complete strangers in city. Okay, I mean there is no trust. Completely indifferent attitude is basically shown. So he is in real problem, and in order to get some solution of it, he visited the municipal committee office of that city. There he met 4 officials, and how these officials behaved with him will help us to understand the basic meaning and differences between these 4 terms. Okay, now the first official listened to the problems of this poor man, but with no concentration. Okay, he was highly indifferent towards the problem of this poor person, and the idea was to just get rid of him. Okay, he just said, क्या होता है when you go to public office, क्या होता है, चलो कल आना, परसों आना. Okay, I mean why you people hate going to public offices? Because of that indifferent attitude. Okay, so no emotions, nothing is shown, and this is a state of apathy. Apathy basically means indifference, completely indifferent to the state of that poor person. Okay, just one line about apathy. Apathy is a state of indifference. Apathy is a state of indifference, or a state in which no emotions such as concern, excitement, motivation and passion are shown. Okay, no motivation and passion are shown. Now the second official, he listens to these problems of poor man with great care. Okay, some instinctive reaction of kindness was there. Instinctive reaction hota hai, which is highly momentary in nature. I mean, he acknowledged, he recognized the problems of that poor man. He tried to assure, he tried to provide comfort to that poor man also. Okay, and then he said that yes, I will do something for you. But the moment that poor man leaves, the official gets into his other work, and this is a state of sympathy. Sympathy basically means kindness, which is very momentary in nature. जैसे suppose आप सड़क पे जब जा रहे होते हैं, suppose you are red light पे you are standing, you see a beggar, क्या होता है? एक sympathetic, an instinctive reaction is there. Okay, you may give him 1 or 2 rupees, but that thing is not going to solve his problems. And the moment you cross that light, you forget about that beggar. हो जाता है ना, भूल जाते हो ना? Why? Because it's not empathy, it is just sympathy, which is highly momentary in nature. You do not understand the cause of the problems of that poor person. You just feel emotional, you give 2 or 3 rupees and that's it. Okay, so sympathy. Just one line about sympathy. Sympathy is an instinctive reaction. Sympathy is an instinctive reaction of kindness which is momentary in nature. It is spontaneous, and real understanding of problems, it is spontaneous, and real understanding of problems is not there. Okay, now the third official. The third official, while listening to the problem of that poor person, he had a vicarious experience of the feelings of this poor man. Vicarious experience, you understand? Okay, feeling the pain of others, putting yourself in place of others and feeling the same pain that the other people are going through. Are you getting my point? I mean, this officer, he became nostalgic. He started thinking when he came to Delhi for preparing for civil services, no one was there to help him. He was all alone. He was going through all the pain, and he started feeling all those things. Okay, and this is a state of experience. This is a state where real understanding of problems takes place, and this is a state of empathy. Are you getting my point? अब आप उसकी जगह पे पहुंच गए and you have started feeling all those things. जब खुद feel करोगे, certainly the better understanding will come. Okay, so empathy. Just 2-3 lines about empathy. Empathy involves putting yourself. Empathy involves putting yourself in another man's place to understand his pain and sorrow. understanding of the nature and intensity of problems is there. It is more sustainable than sympathy. Okay, now the fourth official. The fourth official, after listening to the problems of this poor person, he not only understood the pain and sufferings of that poor person, but he also immediately decided to take action on it. And that is the case of compassion. Okay, he provided a BPL certificate to that poor person, thus establishing his identity, and also helped him to register his name in the State Employment Exchange Board. Okay, so problem का resolution भी हुआ, and that is the case of compassion. Action word आता है यहाँ पे, right? Apathy is indifference, sympathy is kindness, empathy is just experience. Whereas, sorry?
You're not taking any action in empathy itself.
Empathy में action, compassion में आ रहा है वो action. Okay, empathy just basically means you are experiencing the pain, and certainly when you are experiencing, you will be motivated. But basically, when you try to differentiate these two words, action comes under compassion only. Okay, see, these words are used as synonyms: sympathy, empathy, compassion. So many times for empathy also you can write that action part will get involved in it. But when you are differentiating, you can say that action is there in compassion only. Okay, so action. यहाँ पे आपने लिख ही लिया, इसमें एक लाइन लिखना है तो आपको, compassion involves not only understanding but also a desire to help alleviate the suffering of the other person. Okay, so ये है. Now, why empathy and compassion is important in civil services? Why it is a foundational value? Yes. Antipathy. Negative emotions, you can say. Complete denial, in fact, going completely against the emotions that other person is feeling. Antipathy can be regarded as. I mean, it can be, I think, interpreted in this manner only. I'm not completely sure what antipathy is, but somewhere close to this only. Negative emotions. Apathy is neutral. Okay. Antipathy may be negative side. Okay. Now, why empathy and compassion is important? Now, this is very important part. क्यों important है empathy and compassion in civil services?
Empathy will give a better understanding of people's problems.
So, what will happen by this?
Feedback of policies and.
Yes. First point that you can write is that huge gap is there in India. Specifically in India, you will find that huge gap is there between policy formulation and ground realities. Why this gap is there? Because empathy is not there among civil servants. What do we really find is वो होता है ना एक helicopter approach. क्या होता है helicopter approach? I mean, the bureaucrats, they are sitting in their air-conditioned office. उसको कहते हैं armchair bureaucracy. Okay, ivory tower approach or armchair bureaucracy word is also used. They are sitting on their armchairs, making the policies for the poor people down there, even without understanding anything not a single, not even 1% of the problems that other people are going through. Or helicopter approach, they will go to the flood areas, वहाँ पे helicopter में जाएंगे, they will have an aerial view of what is happening, they will come back to the office and make a policy. I mean certainly it is not going to help. अभी वो last year वो शिवराज चौहान का photograph आया था ना, वो पानी से 2 पुलिस, तो जब तक you will not understand that cold of water, okay, the dirtiness of water, you will not feel that thing, you will never be able to make a realistic policy for the poor. You will never get motivated to help those people. Okay, so this is the first perspective. Second perspective is elitism. In India, elitism is there in bureaucracy. होता है. I mean the moment your name comes in the final list of UPSC, you enters into this elite club of bureaucracy. Okay, a kind of retrograde amnesia is there. You completely forget what happens to you before that result date. Okay, now you are an elite. Okay, how this distance between elite bureaucracy and common man, how it can be bridged? Only when empathy and compassion is there. In fact, C.P. Bhamri, he's a professor of political sciences. He once compared IAS as a new Brahmanical system of India. IAS civil servants are acting like Brahmins. Brahmins का क्या attitude होता है? Apathy, all-knowing attitude होता है ना? We know everything. Okay, touch me not attitude. If you will touch me, I will also become inferior like you. I am superior, you are inferior. So, I mean, maintain a distance between, there should be a distance between both of us. Otherwise, infection हो जाएगा हम लोगों को. Okay, so that kind of attitude is shown by bureaucrats. And it is a big, huge problem that must be resolved, and only empathy and compassion can do this thing. In fact, second perspective that I have given you. Okay, in fact, in this only you will also find indifference towards people. आप जब पुलिस स्टेशन में जाते हो, अभी गए हो कभी दिल्ली में, बड़ा खराब एक्सपीरियंस होगा इफ यू गो टू अ पुलिस स्टेशन. वो तो किसी की नहीं लिखते, मेरी भी नहीं लिखी थी, अभी मैं 2 महीने पहले गया. ओके, सो I mean they are highly indifferent. I mean in government hospitals you will find, I mean dead bodies are lying over there, people are bleeding, they are just dying, and they are completely indifferent towards it. पहले फॉर्म फिल कर आओ, then only the patients will get. हाँ, शुयो, simple सा easy concept. Why this thing is there? Because of apathy, because of indifference, and indifference is a very dangerous state. You start ignoring other person. वो आपके लिए फर्नीचर का पार्ट हो गया. Okay, see, love is good. Okay, hatred is also okay, because at least there are chances the other person is at least remembering you. Okay, but indifference is the most dangerous state. Okay, no, nothing, he is not even recognizing your existence. Okay, so this thing is very important. In fact, Rudyard Kipling ने he once said, एक उनका कोट था, to walk among the kings and yet not lose the common touch. ये कोट लिख लो, to walk among the kings, to walk among the kings and yet not lose the common touch. In fact, this kind of approach is required in civil services, which is, I mean, unfortunately, which is not there. हाँ हाँ हाँ
पोएम का एक line है।
लाइन है, यस. ओके, इनफैक्ट मैंने बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स हैं, लाइक सन ऑफ सॉइल थ्योरी. This reservation is criticized on this point only. Okay, see, reservation is there in civil services for a very long time. Yet the bureaucrats are doing very less for the downward sections of the society. I mean, just apart from one or two highly dedicated, motivated civil servants, very few civil servants have really done anything for this lowest rung of the society. I mean, one of the logic behind reservation is that if the people will come from these disadvantaged section, they will have the empathy, they will have the understanding of the problems, and they will work for them. But is it happening? कोई भी आए, चाहे किसी भी सेक्शन से आए, द मोमेंट ही बिकम्स एन IAS, वो IAS जब वो एक प्रीफिक्स की तरह लगता है, देन यू बिकम द पार्ट ऑफ दैट एलीट क्लब एंड एवरीथिंग इज फॉरगॉटन. Okay, so basically this thing, this absence of empathy and compassion, it also challenges this idea of son of soil theory. Can I say this thing? बिल्कुल है. Okay. So these are all perspectives only. I can give you multiple examples. तो गांधी जी का, गांधी जी a very famous prayer is there. कौन सा एक famous prayer है उनका, बताओ? वैष्णव जन तेने कहिए जे पीर पराई जानिए. What's the meaning? सुना तो बहुत बार होगा. मीनिंग क्या है? दूसरों की पीड़ा. A god-like man is the one who understands the pain of others. And understanding the pain of others basically means empathy. आ रही है बात समझ में? Gandhi ji, when he came to India in 1915, what was the first thing that he did? Why?
To experience what problems are being.
To experience, to develop empathy, to develop compassion for the people. In 30s, I mean, he just retired after that communal award. He retired from the active politics and he started living with Dalits only. Why? Compassion and empathy, to understand the pain that these people are going through. Okay, so empathy, compassion has always been there in Mahatma Gandhi. In fact, it is there in Indian moral philosophy also. Okay. महाभारत में यू हैव हर्ड दैट स्टोरी, वो यक्षा वाली जो स्टोरी है, वो पॉन्ड का एक पॉन्ड लॉर्ड होता है एक, नहीं सुनी? आई मीन, हाँ, थर्ड क्वेश्चन था एक्चुअली. अच्छा, ओके, you said you didn't know number of questions. Basically, the thing is that after that game of dice, when the Pandavas were there in exile, they were spending their years in the forest. One day, all of them felt very thirsty, so they went one by one to a pond. Okay, and that pond was owned by a yaksha. So that yaksha said that only if you will answer my question, then only I will let you take water from it. Okay, but I mean, Arjuna, Bhima, they were all very adamant in nature, so they said no, we will not answer, and they all die. Okay, finally in the end Yudhishthira came, so he said, I will answer all your questions. So one question that yaksha asked was that what is the highest dharma? Okay, so Yudhishthira said that compassion is the highest dharma. Okay, compassion is in the roots of the tree called dharma. Okay, ये question था, what is the highest dharma? He said compassion is the highest dharma. Okay, it is in the roots of the tree called dharma. Compassion is in the roots of the tree called dharma. अरे बात समझिए, रूट्स ट्री के रूट्स में है, और ब्रांचेस क्या है उस ट्री की? जो धर्मा ट्री है, ब्रांचेस है प्रिंसिपल्स, नॉर्म्स, वैल्यूज, लीव्स है, ये सब. दीज थिंग्स कीप ऑन चेंजिंग, ओके, एज पर टाइम, बट द रूट्स विल ऑलवेज रिमेन सेम. Okay, the tree will stand only when the roots are strong, if compassion is there in the roots. Okay, the society moves only because of compassion and empathy only. In fact, there is one debate also in moral philosophy. Moral sentimentalism versus moral rationalism. मॉरल सेंटिमेंटलिज्म क्या कहते हैं? सेंटिमेंट्स वर्ड से आया है. Okay, basically moral sentimentalism says that morals comes from emotions only. Okay, and that हमने debate क्या discuss किया था? Moral relativism versus moral universalism. Okay, moral sentimentalism is just like moral relativism only. Just because morals comes from human sentiments, human emotions, that is why they are subjective in nature, and because they are subjective they are relative. And moral rationalism क्या बोलता है? That morality comes from human reason, and because human reason is same for all human beings, it is universal in nature. तो वो moral universalism की तरफ inclined है. Moral sentimentalism is inclined towards moral relativism, and moral rationalism is inclined towards moral universalism. Indian philosophy में emotions का बहुत रोल है. In fact, this one line is given in Mahabharata only. एक quote लिख लो महाभारता का. As per Mahabharata, moral sentiment is born. Moral sentiment is born in a human heart. In a human heart, when one start looking at others, when one start looking at others with empathy. Okay, so empathy lays down the foundation of moral behavior. जब तक आप empathetic नहीं होगे, you cannot be moral. Okay, that is why emotions are very very important. Okay, अभी in fact like last year एक rule पास किया था गवर्नमेंट ने कि I mean those IAS officers who are posted as secretary to government of India, they have to spend at least 1 week in
place of original posting.
in place of their first posting. First posting पे क्यों जाएंगे एक हफ्ते के लिए?
Experience what change people
To experience what change. See, certain emotions are always attached to the first posting. So when they will go there, they will realize that what has happened in the last 25 years, what changes have been made. Okay, so it will help them to make better policies in future. Okay, empathy और compassion से direct relation है. Got it? बहुत important है. Empathy and compassion is, I think it is the most important value for civil servants.
Empathy and compassion taken to an extreme level can
हाँ, वो भी गलत है.
paternalism,
हाँ.
condescending behavior.
Yes, that can. वो अभी हम करेंगे उसमें middle path के अंदर. I will discuss this thing. Extreme of anything is bad. Yes.
State should not start treating citizens like patriots.
हाँ, yes, certainly yes. Okay, वो उसमें फिर objectivity में आएगा. See, objectivity is also very important. ये नहीं कि आप objectivity को discard कर दोगे. It is very important. और हमेशा you will see again it completely depends upon the kind of role you are playing in the case study. In a case study, if you are playing a role of a civil servant, you must be inclined towards objectivity. Okay, and if you are a citizen, then you can be more inclined towards empathy and compassion. Okay, अब इसमें कुछ लिख लो आप, थोड़ा सा जरूरी है. Understanding of problems and sufferings become more enduring if we have empathy towards the people in distress. Towards the people in distress. In developing countries, there is always a greater chance of disconnect between bureaucracy and people, as bureaucrats are vulnerable to getting trapped in the distancing confines of the power elite. Elite, yes. Okay, this is and this thing can be removed only by empathy, compassion. Then you can write an armchair bureaucracy cannot understand the real pain and suffering of a common man unless they put themselves in common man's place. यहाँ पे वो helicopter approach, aeroplane approach, you can add all those things. Policy formulation and ground realities. Huge difference is found. Okay. Then one last point that you can write: the argument that affinity with the soil of the land, gives you bigger ears. The argument that affinity with the soil of the land gives you bigger ears to the ground has also been challenged in recent times. Except few highly dedicated bureaucrats more entrants with humble background have not changed the narrative of disconnect between young bureaucrats and people. ओके, लाइक जैसे युधिष्ठिर वाला ही केस था ये यक्षा वाला स्टोरी में ही. सो इन द एंड यक्षा सेड कि आई विल ओनली गिव लाइफ बैक ओनली टू वन ऑफ योर ब्रदर्स. सो युधिष्ठिर ने किसकी लाइफ मांगा था? नकुल की. भाई सबसे छोटे और दूसरी माँ का था, सेकंड मदर का, that my mother will have one son and second wife of my father should also have one son, जो नुकुल और सहदेव उनके पास से. Right. So again this thing shows his empathy and compassion. Okay, Yudhishthira highly empathetic, highly compassionate. Many stories are there in Mahabharata. Okay, like एक छोटा सा स्टोरी और शेयर करता हूँ, थोड़ा और कहीं मिलता नहीं ना मुझे निकालने के लिए. Okay, like जैसे in Mahabharata 18 अध्यायs are there. In TV series you only see it till 12th. Okay, in the last adhyay when Yudhishthira gave up his throne and he started moving towards east in order to achieve his moksha. Okay, so slowly one by one all his brothers they just fell off. Okay, they all died. He was the only one remaining. So then he saw that one dog was following him. Okay, then in the end Indra came to receive him in his magic chariot. So Yudhishthira insists that this dog will also come with me to heaven. Okay, so Indra said कि ये कैसे आ जाएगी? He was just following you. So he said that discarding your followers is like killing a Brahmin. Okay, so he was even empathetic, he was compassionate towards the dog also. Okay, और finally वो dog भी फिर उसके साथ heaven में गया. Finally the dog was actually God Dharmaraj. He was taking his exam actually, his test for his empathy and compassion. Okay, so in fact multiple stories are there. Right, so empathy, compassion, very important for a king. In fact, this Bhishma Parva, this one more adhyay is there. At the end of the war, there was a lot of remorse in Yudhishthira. Okay, so he went to Lord Krishna. He asked him, please say something so that I can get some comfort. Okay, so Krishna said that the only guy that can provide you comfort in this situation is lying in the battlefield only. और battlefield में कौन थे? Bhishma Pitama. So there was a very long conversation which took place between Yudhishthira and Bhishma Pitama on governance part only. So वहाँ पे भी Pitama said that compassion and empathy is very important. Okay, I will come to that part later on in governance unit. Okay.
What is the definition of dharma per se?
आएंगे, बिल्कुल आएंगे. धर्मा तो अभी क्लास लेगा पूरा एक. Right. Dharma, actually there is no English word for dharma. Multiple meanings have been given. जैसे धर्मा को religion की तरह use करते हैं in the present context. Okay. So this empathy and compassion is one very important thing. You can add many examples to this. एक और value कर ले या फिर कल करेंगे? चलो ठीक है. So that will be all for today. Thank you. Tomorrow we will start with tolerance, जो आप लोगों ने अभी शो नहीं करी.
How to get these aspects of Mahabharata like आप use कर रहे हैं frequently? How to get them? I tried reading Difficulty of Being Good, but
थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है. Okay.